Can you believe it? In the high-stakes world of professional hockey, where every general manager is supposedly a master strategist, how often do we see a diamond in the rough, a true game changer, potentially slip through a team's fingers? Are we on the cusp of witnessing one of the most baffling miscalculations in recent memory? A blunder so profound it could redefine the fortunes of two franchises. Because if the whispers are true, if the Los Angeles Kings are truly hesitant to fully embrace the electrifying potential of defenseman Brandt Clarke, then the Toronto Maple Leafs aren't just looking at an opportunity. They're staring at a golden ticket, a chance to acquire their very own version of the Edmonton Oilers' offensive juggernaut Evan Bouchard. For years, the Toronto Maple Leafs have been on a relentless quest to assemble a roster capable of not just competing, but dominating. They've chased stars, tinkered with lines, and scoured the league for that elusive piece that could elevate them from perennial contenders to undisputed champions. Now, an almost unbelievable scenario is unfolding, one that could hand them a generational talent on the blue line. Imagine a world where the Leafs secure a skilled right-shot defenseman still on his rookie contract, brimming with offensive upside, a player who could quarterback their power play for a decade. This isn't a fantasy. It's the very real possibility of acquiring Brandt Clarke, a player whose trajectory mirrors that one of the NHL's most explosive blue liners. The idea that the Kings might not fully grasp the gem they possess is almost too good to be true. And if there's even a remote chance, the Maple Leafs should be ready to pounce with the ferocity of a starved lion. The narrative surrounding Brandt Clarke in Los Angeles is frankly bewildering. It's a tale of a highly touted prospect drafted 8th overall in 2021, showing flashes of brilliance, yet seemingly struggling to earn the full trust and unwavering commitment of the Kings brass. Take, for instance, the recent comments from Kings GM Ken Holland in an interview with RG's James Murphy. Holland, while acknowledging Clarke as a really talented guy with a bright future, also admitted a surprising lack of familiarity. I mean, I've talked to people, Holland told Murphy. I've got to get a camp and watch. I've got to see him on the ice, and I've got to talk to him and have a meeting with him, and I've got to get a feel for I know the team, but I don't know the team, if you know what I mean. This isn't the ringing endorsement you'd expect for a player with Clarke's pedigree. It sounds less like a general manager ready to build around a cornerstone, and more like someone still trying to figure out if the piece even fits. Is Holland merely playing coy, a seasoned executive trying to drive up the price? Or is there a genuine and deeply concerning ambivalence within the organization regarding Clarke's true value? The plot thickens when you consider the coaching staff's perspective. Last season, Clarke exploded out of the gate, racking up an impressive 11 points in just 12 games. Any other team would be celebrating such a start, heralding the arrival of a future star. Yet, Kings coach Todd Hiller seemed to pump the brakes on the excitement, offering a rather lukewarm assessment. He's a good offensive player. There's no question. He just has to play a complete game. While every young defenseman has areas to improve, this felt like a deliberate attempt to temper expectations rather than embrace the offensive fireworks Clarke was delivering. The most telling sign of the Kings' hesitancy, however, came in January when the Ontario native was made a healthy scratch. A healthy scratch for a player demonstrating such offensive prowess. A player still on his entry-level contract. A player with the potential to be a franchise blue liner. It sends a chilling message. If the coach has misgivings and the general manager needs convincing, it creates a palpable sense of unease, a crack in the foundation that the Maple Leafs should be ready to exploit. In a perfectly logical NHL, the mere thought of a team fumbling a player of Brandt Clarke's caliber will be laughable. Skilled, right-handed defensemen are not just rare, they are the most coveted currency in the league, the kind of player every general manager dreams of acquiring. And when you factor in that Clarke is still on his rookie contract, offering incredible value and cost control for years to come, the Kings' apparent indecision becomes even more perplexing. This is precisely where the parallels to Evan Bouchard become so striking, so compelling. The Oilers selected Bouchard 10th overall in 2018. The Kings picked Clarke 8th overall in 2021. Both players, even without being granted top special teams reps or other prime opportunities, managed to put up impressive point totals, showcasing an innate offensive instinct and a natural ability to generate offense from the blue line. Consider Clarke's performance during the 2024-25 season. He generated a remarkable 33 points despite being limited to just 78 regular season games and a modest average time on ice of 16-17. To put that into perspective, he ranks 7th on the Kings in power play time on ice at a mere 147 per game, a figure closer to defensive forward Philip Danault, 123, than to the team's undisputed power play quarterback Drew Doughty, 235. Imagine what Clarke could accomplish with an elevated role, with consistent top unit power play minutes, with the full confidence of his coaching staff. It screams of untapped potential, of a player on the precipice of a significant leap. While it might not be as dramatic as Bouchard's explosion from 40 to 82 points after Tyson Barrie departed Edmonton, it is entirely reasonable to picture bigger and better things for Clarke. The signs are all there: the offensive talent, the draft pedigree, the underlying numbers that hint at a player ready to peak. If Holland is indeed being clever, he's playing a dangerous game, especially given what many perceive as a grimly poor first offseason for the Hockey Hall of Famer. This is not the time for subtlety. It's the time for the Maple Leafs to do their due diligence and float not just one, but multiple trade offers. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. The one aspect that gives any general manager pause. Brandt Clarke, much like Evan Bouchard in his earlier years, does leave something to be desired defensively, whether a penchant for taking too many chances, an occasional lapse in judgment, or simply a need to refine his own zone coverage. There are legitimate questions about his defensive game, but here's the critical point. These are issues that can be worked out, flaws that can be mitigated. Even if he never becomes a Slaven-caliber defenseman, the good already heavily outweighs the bad, particularly when you consider his offensive upside. The Maple Leafs, crucially, are uniquely positioned to manage these defensive shortcomings. As noted by analysts, Toronto's roster is already teeming with reliable stay-at-home types. Players like Simon Benoit, who consistently put defense first, can provide the necessary stability. Furthermore, if the Leafs were to acquire Clarke, they could pair with veteran defensive anchors such as Chris Tanev or Jake McCabe, players renowned for their ability to shut down opposing offenses and cover for more offensively inclined partners. This strategic pairing would allow Clarke to unleash his offensive creativity without constantly worrying about defensive responsibilities, creating a truly balanced and potent blue line. The window of opportunity for the Toronto Maple Leafs to acquire Brandt Clarke might be narrow, but it is undeniably open. The Kings' apparent reluctance to fully commit to a player of his immense talent creates a unique, almost unbelievable situation. This isn't just about adding another defenseman. It's about acquiring a player who could fundamentally alter the team's offensive dynamics, especially on the power play, for years to come. The chance to bring in a right-shot blue liner with his offensive instincts still on a rookie deal is a rare gift in today's NHL. The potential for him to blossom into a true star, a Bouchard-esque force, is too significant to ignore. The Maple Leafs have the assets, the cap space, and most importantly, the strategic pieces on their roster to integrate Clarke and allow him to thrive. If the door on a Clarke trade is even slightly ajar, the Maple Leafs shouldn't just knock. They should kick that door wide open and seize this incredible opportunity. This could be the move that defines their next era. So, what do you think, Leafs Nation? Is Brandt Clarke the missing piece? The offensive dynamo on defense that Toronto desperately needs? Could he truly become our version of Evan Bouchard, leading the charge from blue line? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think the Kings are making a mistake? And should the Leafs go all in? And if you're as excited about this potential game-changing move as we are, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all the breaking news and in-depth analysis on your Toronto Maple Leafs.